to the port. This is Baltimore, Maryland. And went inside the customs, canceled my bond. And then, of course, you know, I always know that I never get the right check the first time. If you remember, I said that. Because last time, the guy here said, this shack here on the right of these two trucks on the right, there's like a, you know, temporary building. This one deals with wheeled equipment. And the other one, on the other side of the road, deals with tracked equipment. Right? So I'm thinking, okay, can I at least get the right check from the first attempt, at least once? And I parked here, where I am now, and the customs is on my left behind me. I went there, I canceled my bond, right, because it goes to overseas. And then I was pretty positive that it is not this shack, so I drove in the direction where that white truck is going, and then turned right over there on the road, and I went to this other shack that I'm positive deals with tracked machinery. Now the guy looks at my paper, he says, oh, it's the wrong shack, you gotta go to the one across the street. I said, which one? Oh, the one next to customs. I said, Jesus, I was just there. He says, yep. So basically, the new rule now is that these guys deal with wheeled machinery and used machinery. And those guys over there, they only deal with brand new machinery that come from the ship. And by the way, check out the dump trucks on my left, those huge tires, 3-axle dump trucks. And they all Volvo A40G. Huge monsters, but they look kind of like identical to, you know, Cat has similar dump trucks, and John Deere. Oh, a guy brought a loader. And I emailed my dispatcher. I said I probably should stop at the truck wash near TA here, Travel Centers of America, and just have him rinse quickly the excavator. And he says, oh, don't bother. It's only required, the machinery should be clean only when you cross the border, when you go to US Customs. And he says when you unload, it's going to sit there on the dock for like 2 weeks under rain and snow, which, you know, makes sense. But then I go inside that shack to present my papers, and there's a big sign on the wall that says, our employees have been instructed to reject dirty machinery. And of course I didn't say anything, so I'm just sitting in my truck waiting for one of those guys to show up. And like you saw before, there was a car with a flagpole. So it's one of these guys shows up and they have your paperwork, because they know your license plate, and they will tell you where to go, where to drop this. So if this guy tells me that this machine needs to be washed, then basically I'm screwed. I'll have to go back to the freeway, drive to the truck wash, and then of course I'm gonna miss my pickup, because this stupid rule in Maryland is that you cannot drive after 3:30 on the Beltway, basically on I-695 and 95. So you gotta leave Baltimore by 3:30, and time now is 11. Oh, and you cannot be there before 9. So they make it, you know, real difficult to do a pickup and the drop off on the same day, because see, like here I'm waiting, right? So it can be an hour, it can be 2 hours, depends how busy these guys are. And this is all trade union, so they're always busy and they're never in a hurry. So we are waiting for the verdict, the final verdict. Can I unload or not? Oh, and then, yeah, then the next machine, it's that shack where I went by mistake the first time, the one that deals with new machinery. And then I'm picking up that brand new, clean, shiny Cat 320, assembled in Japan. The good news is I am unloading. The guy didn't mind too much. This ugly excavator. Look at this. Jesus, it's like I went through a swamp, you know? I was the dirtiest guy in the lineup, but the guy looked at it, kind of like knitted his brow, but didn't say anything. But the bad news is that, you know, he brought me here. I was here, if you remember, a few weeks ago, right? Unloading exactly pretty much in the same spot. Only now he wants me closer to the fire hydrant. I think they're gonna wash this machine probably themselves. There's plenty of water to my left, as you can see. But, so the bad news is, oh, and I tell him, you know, come back in like 20-30 minutes, because he has all my paperwork, like my pass to get out of the port. And he says, well, it's 11:15 now. The lunch break starts at 11:30. I'll see you at 1. And I forgot totally that, you know, these guys have a very long lunch break, so now I gotta take it slow. So I removed all my chains and removed the that hoodie from the exhaust. Turned on my master switch there in the back. If you don't turn it on, you cannot start the machine. And I came in to grab the key, and I think I'm gonna keep this key. I'm gonna keep it in my truck. Forget it. They all have keys here. But now I gotta clean that window, because I cannot see anything in there. Alright, hopefully it'll start. But that master switch is a very important thing. If you keep it on after loading, the battery can get discharged, especially when it's cold, and then you're screwed. And that's it. But the tricky part is, and that's why you saw the machine was going a bit left and right, is that when you turn the tower like that, the controls reverse. You know, like when I drive it on, I remember I pushed the levers forward and the machine was going forward, and that's kind of like, that's intuitive. Now I had to pull them to go forward. Oh boy. So it took a while to figure it out. And then the tricky part was over there when I started turning the tower. I don't know what the correct term is. I call it tower. Bashня in Russian. We call it bashня. A tank has a bashня, tower. And the tricky part there was not to hit anything over there, because it swings wide. So you gotta be careful, you know, because I'm pretty sure the guys would not be happy if they come in and there's like if I break that fire hydrant and there's a 200-meter fountain. What did you do? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to check the swing of my tower. So anyway, now it's 12:09. I got 51 minutes to kill. And I got to rehook, because the other machine, it's actually not that far. If you can see, like straight ahead, that white truck, like far away near the next crane, next but one, those are brand new ones, right? Those are from that other shack. But over there, I see only graders. So the excavators can be in a different lot, and then it'll be too far to drive, you know, because these machines are pretty slow. Screw this, better rehook. And even though that one is only 10.9, I don't actually need to use my boards, but I'm gonna keep them, because securing them and carrying them, it's like this way everything is set up right now, right? I'll have to change the binders. All I have to do is just drive this new excavator on, and I'll keep the boards. So Cat 320, 57,000 pounds. But first we have to live through the lunch break. And what do I have? I have no food. Of course, there's nowhere here to go to buy food. I got a couple of spoons of very cold coffee. And one thing you definitely need in your truck is you need water. Because you can live without food, but you cannot live without water. So this morning I bought a gallon jug of nice spring water. So I'm gonna have some healthy lunch right now. With water. Well, that's it. The load is delivered. Oh, and then the guy, of course, has to give me the paperwork, and I already have a stamp on my bill of lading. And then I'm going to use my smartphone with that scan app. I'm going to take a picture, scan all the paperwork, send it to my boss, and go to this other shack to pick up the other excavator. And then, if it's already 3 o'clock, I'll just go to the TA Travel Center, because you know, you cannot break the rules. I don't know what the fines are if they stop you, but you know, the paper says you're not supposed to be on the beltway after 3:30, right? Black and white, and you gotta sign it at the bottom there. So of course the cop will stop you and say, "Hey, can I see your permit? Did you read it? I see your signature." "Well, actually I was half asleep, so I did not go into all details." "Well, here's your ticket, $2,000 bucks." No, we don't want that.